So we're going to start talking about lotteries. Because a lot of lotteries, you choose numbers, and if your numbers are picked, you win the lottery. So here's a lottery. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Keno lottery. The Keno lottery, there's 80 numbers. You choose 20 of them. The math behind this is super easy. If the order doesn't matter, we write it out as 80 choose 20. The formula for combinations is also really easy to remember. The 80 is going to be 80 factorial on the top, just like the permutations formula. And of course, this formula is on your formula sheet, but since it's so easy to remember, you probably won't have to use your formula sheet. The reason it's easy to remember is you'll have the 80 factorial on the top, 20 factorial on the bottom, and then the bottom, there's always two numbers that add up to the number on the top. So 20 plus 60 is 80. This is going to equal 80 factorial over 20 factorial, 60 factorial. You'll also want to know where your combinations button is on your calculator, because this is not something you would do in your head. So see if you can type in 80C20 into your calculator right now. I'll let mine warm up as well. Now the Keno lottery isn't that well known. The most popular lottery in Canada is called Lotto 649. Have you heard of that one? Okay. I saw a sign up just the other day, this max million, $70 million prize this week. That's super exciting. So Lotto 649 is similar to, here, now let's just go. Mine is on probability under NCR. So what I do is I type in 80, I go over to probability, I choose NCR, and I type in 20. 3.535 times 10 to the 18. That's a lot of options. We're going to do the Lotto 649. Lotto 649, there are only 49 numbers, and you choose 6 of them. So first of all, if we want to find our chances of winning the lottery, and today, if it's on your bucket list that you want to, before you die, win the lottery, I can tell you how to do it. I can guarantee, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but I can guarantee that you will win the lottery if you want to. Look at that. So 49, choose 6. 49, math button, choose 6. This is a nicer number, just under 14 million. 13983. I think those are all the numbers. 8166. Just under 14 million. And I think tickets are, what, $2 each? I don't know. I don't buy the lottery because I've done the math, and I know that the best outcome of playing the lottery is I will lose my money. But I will tell you why sometimes playing the lottery is still worth it for you. First of all, though, if you want to win the lottery, and tickets are $2 each, all you have to do, it will take you some time, because you have to fill out the card 14 million times, but you just have to buy every single ticket. It's possible. There's only 14 million of them. So you go to your bank, and the prize is 70 million. And you're like, this is a good deal. I can buy every ticket for about $28 million. And then I guarantee that I will win 70 million. So you go to your bank, you say, hi, bank, I'd like to take out a loan. They're like, oh, what are you buying, a car? Are you buying, like, a house already? Or just, you're in grade 12? Yeah. No, I'm going to buy lottery tickets. I'd like to borrow $28 million to win the lottery. Okay? most likely, well, almost guaranteed, you will not be approved. I don't think they approve loans for $28 million to high school students who want to win the lottery. But you would. You would guarantee that you would win. And if it was 70 million, why could this be a bad idea?
Because if someone else wins the lottery, you split it between two of you.
Yeah, so if someone else wins, we split it. Okay, well, that would still, at 70 million, splitting it, you'd still be up 7 million, right? The only problem is if there was one extra person who wins it, now 70 divided by 3, you're under 25 million, and you borrowed 28 million, so it's like, oh, just short $3 million. I'm sure the bank won't be too mad. Yeah, they will be mad. So that's why they won't borrow you the money. But in the meantime, it's nice to know that you could win. How likely is it for you to win the lottery? Guess, heads or tails. What are your chances of getting this right? 50-50. So if everybody gets, some people would get it right. Right? I got heads. Okay? What are my chances of getting heads again? 50-50 still. Oh, I feel. Okay? Go home and flip a coin. See how many times you get heads in a row. Don't stop until you get heads 22 times in a row. Don't actually do that, because then you might not be stopping for many years. And later on, parents are going, sorry, Karina's in an insane asylum. She keeps flipping coins because her teacher said, do this until you get 22 times in a row. It's driving her crazy. 50%, 22 times in a row, 1 divided by 2, I could write 0.5, to the power of 22. Oh, I don't want, no, sorry. I'm going to do 2 to the power of 22, because every time you flip, you have 2 choices, right? So if you flip 22 times in a row, you'd have 2 times 2, just like subway question that we did. We'd have, if I do 2 to the 22, that's only 4 million chances. 2 to the 23 is 8 million. 2 to the 24, it is easier to flip a coin and get heads 23 times in a row than it is to pick the right numbers for the lottery. You guys freak out on a multiple choice test when you see 3 letters in a row that are the same. You're like, oh, something's wrong here. This shouldn't happen. And yet, it would have to happen 22 to 23 to 24 times in a row for you to be equal to the lottery. Now, so every time you play the lottery, know that your chances are so little that you are basically giving that money away. But somebody wins, right? Why does that happen? By luck. But what happens is when the prize gets big, the bigger the prize, the more people are buying tickets, right? They had a stupid Powerball in the United States a couple of years ago where I forget how big the prize.
Well, I remember that.
How big was the prize?
It was like $1.6
$1.6
billion.
billion.
American, too.
American. That's a lot of money. It drove people so crazy that not only, like Canadians, who are not in the States, and you can only buy the tickets in the States, would spend hundreds of dollars just to drive to the States to buy a $5 ticket or $10 ticket, or they buy a bunch of them, where your chances in that one, because the prize was so big, the chances of winning were even less than this. All to lose their money, okay? because most people don't win. But eventually, what happens is when the prize gets big, more people buy tickets, and eventually, there will be something like 20 million tickets sold. So when you have 14 million options and 20 million tickets sold, now there's a better chance that one of those tickets is the right one. There's still going to be some tickets that overlap. Some people pick the same number as somebody else. But if nobody wins it with 20 million, what happens to the prize the next week? The next week the prize gets bigger. Right? And each time the prize gets bigger, more and more people buy a ticket. Until eventually someone gets that lucky. Because if your chances are 1 in 14 million, and you try 14 million times, right, there's better chances of winning if you've tried 14 million times than if you just try once. So that's why eventually someone wins. And same thing with that huge Powerball thing in the United States, 1.6 billion. You had people flying in.
I'm pretty sure most of that,
Okay.
a good portion of that goes to taxes.
Yeah. However, when is a lottery ticket worth your money? Well, you can't win the lottery unless you do play. So after you buy that ticket, it gives you until the draw. So if you buy the ticket one day before the draw, you get 1 day of daydreaming. All day, you can imagine this could be the winning ticket. And you know, what am I going to do with that money? And what's going to happen? Oh, and you have this wonderful daydream all day, just to have it crushed later. That's okay. But if that daydream was worth your $2, perfect. Then it's money well spent, right? If that made you so happy until your dreams are crushed that you didn't win. But if during that time that was worth $2 for you, then you should play.
My aunt gave my mom like this fake lottery card,
Okay.
and it had like 10K on it, and it said that she won, and she was like freaking out.
That's so weird.
And then she took it to like one of the places because she thought she actually won, and then the lady turned it over and it was like, this is a joke.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's kind of. So questions for practice with example 1 are 4, 5, and 7.